for telling me all of that. I guess what I wanted to talk to you now is a bit about a couple of the tests that we did together. Is that alright with you?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, one of those tests was for your Holland code. Do you remember what your Holland code was?
Yes, I think it was ASE.
Yeah, ASE. That was for artistic, social, and enterprising. So for artistic people, those are people who enjoy a lot of creative activities. They enjoy expressing themselves in what they do. With social people, those are people who they basically just want to help others. They enjoy socializing. They enjoy, working directly with people. And they also like to teach and serve, and that's kind of the roles that they like to do in their work. And with enterprising people, those are people who really do enjoy starting out and carrying out projects, but they tend to want to be, in the leading seat for that. So they like persuading people, they like making decisions, and they like leading those projects. I guess what I'd like to know is that in your own words, how would you describe those letters?
Well, I suppose I agree with the artistic. I'm pretty creative person. I like to draw. Oh, I used to, and I like to pick up new musical instruments, things like that. So I guess I'd say I'm a creative person. Social. I do like meeting new people and connecting with people. But I think mainly my social traits are probably in wanting to help people. I also do a little bit of, social stuff in my workplace as well. And enterprising, I don't know if I really relate as much to enterprising, but I guess I kind of do a little bit of leading in my workplace where I kind of facilitate my class to do a activity.
Okay.
I don't know if that really counts though.
I guess it shows that you do, take in a leadership position in your current work roles, but I'd kind of like to know more about why you don't relate with that last letter.
Well, I suppose I feel more, in the role of my workplace, I feel more like I am a teacher.
Okay.
More like I'm teaching and maybe giving guidance over being maybe like a boss.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm controlling the group or leading in that sense. I feel more like I'm teaching.
So you're more closely linked to that social side where you see yourself as a teacher, not a leader.
Yes, I'd say that.
Okay.
Definitely.
That kind of falls into your personality trait test that you did. One of your highest ones was agreeableness. So those are kind of people who are, compassionate about what they do, and they also enjoy cooperation and working together with people rather than taking charge, because they're basically, harmony-orientated types of people. Would that describe you?
Yeah, I definitely feel like that aligns with me. I think that maybe that's why I struggle to lead a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. You seem to be, happy in your job right now, and you're doing a psychology degree. I guess with that, how would you interpret how your letters are organized if you don't really relate to that last one, enterprising?
Well, I think I'd still have artistic and social where they are, but I suppose enterprising as the kind of feels maybe not quite right. I feel like it could not be there, and that would maybe describe me a little bit better.
Yeah, so you're definitely AS, it's just that E which is a little bit faded compared to the rest.
Yeah, I think so, for sure.
I guess in that case, if you were to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10 in how important they are to you, what would you rate them as?
Well, I definitely rate artistic as maybe like a 9, I think. It's very important to me now, in my personal life, where I can have a kind of creative outlet. But I can see as well that it will be important in my future, with, understanding the client and helping to create a treatment plan for their specific issue that will be beneficial for them.
Mm-hmm.
What was I saying?
And just with social and enterprising.
Oh yes, social and enterprising. I guess I put social maybe at an 8 or a 9 as well. I can see that social is important now with, you know, being able to like engage with my students and to be able to help them learn in a way that works for them.
Yeah.
And be able to engage with them and get them to engage with me. And I can also see how in my future it will be helpful for when I'm trying to do that with my clients, to engage with them and to understand them and connect, I guess.
Yeah.
I can understand that. Enterprising, I suppose I put it about a 5. It's not as important to me right now, but I can see that it might be important in my future for making like career decisions or deciding where I actually want to end up, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I guess a 5 because it's neutral.
Yeah, I guess it's really good that you so strongly identify with your first two, and you seem to be able to orientate yourself in like a present focus and a future perspective for that. It's just with enterprising, you see how it's, you know, important in the future, but it's not necessarily articulated in your day-to-day life right now. I wonder if a reason for that is because you're kind of in that, I guess, go-between situation where you're about to jump from student to an actual counsellor and getting into the workforce. You said earlier that you were struggling with seeing yourself doing that because you don't have the experience yet. Do you see that as kind of a roadblock on that journey?
Yeah, I suppose I could see that as a roadblock. I suppose I don't really relate to enterprising as much. I haven't had to make that transition yet. I think maybe when I get a little closer to that transition, I might lean more into my enterprising traits to be able to make that jump.
Yeah.
I guess, if that's kind of what you're asking.
Yeah, kind of like once you get into that role and you start living it, it's going to be more important to you.
Yes, definitely, I think so.
I guess in that case, how would you currently group your 3 letters together?
Well, I think artistic and social go together quite well. I think I need both of those traits to be able to like work in my current position and future positions. I think they kind of go hand in hand together, so I group them. I think enterprising can sort of go into there. You might need a little bit of artistic traits to help with maybe starting new projects or something.
Yeah.
Or you need enterprising to be able to make jumps, but you need creativity or social in there as well to kind of network or something.
Yeah, so it's like if it were in a basket, you have your first 2 pretty nestled in there, and then enterprising's kind of at the top and it might topple out.
Yeah, I think so.
I guess what we can focus on is trying to see how those letters do influence our day-to-day so we can get a better understanding of how they fit. I know that a couple of your values are universalism and benevolence, so that social side and giving back to the community is pretty important to you.
Yeah, I'd say that is pretty important to me. I guess giving back to the community would kind of be a social aspect. I guess in my day-to-day, social's more really seen at university.
Yeah.
Being able to like meet up with people, engage with them, things like that. But also, I guess in my workplace, as I said, with teaching kids skills and having to help them engage and work with them. I guess artistic doesn't always show up on a day-to-day basis, but it's still very important to me. I don't always have time to do artistic things like playing guitar or whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess I can use my artistic traits in being flexible in
Yeah.
a way.
So with social, when we look at how that influences your day to day, it's a big part of your, educational and your working role. And we look at more the artistic side on your day to day. You said that you do music as a hobby. Can you tell me other ways that influences your, everyday life?
Well, I guess like artistic and maybe being flexible. I guess in my workplace sometimes things don't always go to plan, and I have to, I guess, think quickly to be able to come up with a solution.
Yeah.
I guess I sometimes have to be creative to ensure everybody gets like a good lesson out of the situations that sometimes arise.
Yeah, so it allows you to interpret the world in different ways so you can meet people at, their needs, not yours.
Yes, exactly.
And I know that you don't really relate to enterprising, and that's kind of the thing we're stuck on, but even though you can see how it's important in the future, focusing on the present, can you think of any ways that it's kind of evident in your day-to-day life now?
I wouldn't say necessarily every day, but I suppose sometimes with group work or group projects, I can kind of, I like to be the person who takes some control in that. I like to help with gathering the information, help with writing everything out, help with the presentation part. I guess mostly so I know everything's being done. But I guess maybe that's an enterprising move, wanting to maybe lead in that situation.
Yeah, or even being able to lead if you have to.
Yeah, I would say that for sure.
That's pretty good. I guess in that case, do you kind of see the relationship between those three codes a little bit more clearer now?
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe I can see enterprising fitting in with artistic and social a little bit more, especially if we're talking about like a group work setting or something. I can see that meshing together.
Well, that's really good. And in that case, we talked a bit about how you like helping your community, but you're a gymnastics teacher, and that you can lead, and that you use that artistic side of you to be able to interpret the world. In that case, can you tell me a bit more about the qualities that you have that reflect those parts of you?
Well, I think probably I'd say compassionate. I think I have. I think I'm going to use that now and quite a bit in the future to, with my clients and all that. I think I'm also a creative person. We've talked a bit about my creativity, I guess, and where that can show up in different parts of my life. Maybe for enterprising, I would say problem solving. I guess I kind of said a bit about how I have to use creative methods to problem solve, I guess, so I can kind of see how they go together. But maybe problem solving.
And it's so interesting how you use those skills, to help the people around you, because I know that's what you want to do. And so really kind of your issue is that lack of experience. What we can do in future sessions is we can focus more on that and focus on realizing how the skills that we do have right now can help us overcome and make us feel confident even if we don't have the experience yet. Is that something you'd like to do?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Well, perfect. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.